Hello and welcome to another week of Alone in the South Passage, a Star Wars podcast with me, your host David, and your other host Stefan. Stefan,
Hello.
How are you this week?
I'm very good, thank you, David. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I've had a lovely week, thank you. It feels like a long time since our last recording, despite the fact it's only been a week. Just to give everyone a little bit of a heads up of how this week's going to go, we are getting back to our bread and butter. Oh yeah! So we're going to be concluding a discussion about Return of the Jedi, which we did so long ago I can't actually remember how many weeks it was. Lots of water under the bridge since then. Before we get cracking with that, though, because this is what we do now, we are and down with the kids.
Yes.
We're going to do a little bit of news. I don't really know. I've not got anything to report. If anything, anything new happened in Star Wars this week that you've noticed, or anything you'd like to comment on?
Well, I mean, nothing on the scale of what we saw, obviously, with the celebration stuff. But one thing I did notice was none other than Mark Hamill posted on his social accounts today news that Carrie Fisher is going to be emblazoned on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on May the 4th. For the first time, she will appear there.
I saw that as well. Actually, I think I saw it yesterday on it was like Empire magazine or something reported it from the one I saw. And you know what I did think? I was surprised she hasn't got one already.
I saw exactly what I thought. Yeah, I was surprised. Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of people on there I've never even heard of. Like far lesser stars than Carrie Fisher.
I feel like I'm not to be cynical about it, but I feel like it's the sort of thing that people perhaps they get one by making certain contributions to certain organisations. I don't know. I might be guessing. There's nothing to prove that, and nothing. I do not know. I'm guessing.
Scandalous.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's true. Maybe it's
at least they're doing the right thing now.
Absolutely. So I think. Have you been to? Is it not the Walk of Fame? Well, it's basically the same thing, but the Chinese theatre.
No, I haven't. No, where the first ever Star Wars was.
Yeah, I went, and I went when I was probably about 25-ish. No, a couple of years ago. Either way, by the by, around about that age.
Yeah,
and so it would have been pre-mobile phone cameras. Or at least ones that could take a half decent picture anyway.
Yeah.
And I just had a digital camera as you did at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the picture. Like obviously, there's loads of people around. Everyone's queuing up to take pictures and whatever else. So I took a picture of the footprints and handprints of the Star Wars thing, which is about, I don't know, it's probably about a meter and a half wide by a meter deep.
Okay.
And then it's really cool. I love it. But then I realised when I looked back at the picture later that there was like a fag butt in R2-D2's foot or something. I was like, oh. But again, if there's anyone listening outside the UK, the F word is for cigarettes, not the thing that I'm endeavouring to stop using that word in certain occasions. But in Britain, it's still something very different to what.
Well, that's it. We've got to regard our international audience now, haven't we?
Exactly.
We've got to keep them in mind.
So many.
Oh,
anyway,
the stats don't lie.
One thing I saw a bit newsy this week was so Tamura Morrison made some comments apparently about
not about us not remembering his name.
No, Tamura Morrison made some comments about Mandalorian turning up in Boba Fett.
Oh, okay.
And to me at least, I've not seen the interview of him actually saying the words and physically seeing how he came out of his mouth, but it all sounded very tongue-in-cheek to me.
Okay.
And he basically said about this guy turned up in my program, steals my thunder, and it all sounded like very sort of light-hearted, tongue-in-cheek, as I say. Certain sections of the internet have not seen it that way.
Really?
As is their will.
Angry nerds.
Sorts of stuff like Tamura Morrison breaks all about his relationship with Pedro Pascal and the Mandalorian, despite the fact that Pedro Pascal was probably nowhere near filming because
exactly.
He's the stunt guy whose name I should know, but I don't.
There's 2 or 3 of them, isn't there?
There is. There's quite a few to play.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Pedro Pascal's literally, unless they've got to see his face, he's nowhere near it.
Yeah, and he doesn't take his helmet off once in Series 3, does he? So did he do any physical acting?
No. Yeah,
for it?
Series 3?
Did he?
Well, hang on. I'm just trying to think where the break was. When was it that when did they go into the Imperial thing? And he has to take his face off. Take his face off. Take his mask off. Has to take his mask off to see the. Do you remember they're getting attacked by pirates or something, or the indigenous people who are stormtroopers? And it's because it's the last time we see the woman whose name I cannot remember, the character who then she made some comments about something that she got in trouble for apparently. But
the wrestler woman.
Yes, she wrestled.
She was. Yeah, I'm sure she was WWE. You should know this. You're the wrestling man.
No, I know Sasha Banks. She was in it. Was she a wrestler as well? The other girl.
Yeah, so she was in season 2, and then
she was right back to season 1, I think, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Either way, let's not get bogged down in that.
No,
fair activity around that. But yeah, anyway, like I say, back to our bread and butter, the original trilogy. After weeks of pandering to the youth, get to the real stuff, and it's convenient that we're doing this as well. So for those who can't cast their mind back that far or don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of the shows that we produce, we last spoke about Jedi, referring to Jabba's Palace. And we just left Jabba's Palace and we're about to go on to the sail barge and all the wonderful action that follows. So we're going to pick it up there. And it's convenient that we are doing this now because as well, it won't have escaped most of your attention that this is also the week, the day that this episode of this podcast is released. It's the 28th of April. Which is very nicely, conveniently lands on the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi.
Wow.
And at least one of us is going to the cinema to see it that day. Because,
I'll see it a couple of days later.
I am the real fan here. I'm the hardcore.
Yes.
Steph's
just remind me, how many times have you seen Return of the Jedi at the cinema before?
Sorry, someone's at the door. Hang on.
Let me remind you, it's 0 times.
0,
Mr. Real Fan.
I know. Anyway,
no, but I'm not judging.
Let's not get bogged down. You are judging. Right. Anyway, so really good timing to be doing this because we are celebrating that. I'm seeing it on Friday. I think you seeing it Sunday.
I'm seeing it on Monday.
Monday. Bank holiday, isn't it?
1st of May. Yeah, it's the last day it's on.
Oh, I did see some showings on. Again, just while I remember as well, I need to put an apology out to Cineworld. At time of booking my tickets, I'd like to be clear on this. At time of booking my tickets to see it at 7:30 on Friday night, that was the only showing that was available to book for. And I think at least one of us, if not both of us, said this is going to be like gig tickets where they keep the supply short and then go boom, get them out of there. There are now at least 5 showings a day, every day for 4 days.
The schemesters.
I mean, it's still in a piss poor number of cinemas, but the cinemas it's
still shocking.
Yeah, the cinemas it's in, they're doing well. So that's that. That's enough on that anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm going to say one more thing before we get started.
Do you have to?
No, I don't. I could do it afterwards.
No, carry on.
It's quick, very quick. I had some correspondence with a friend of mine who's also a friend and a listener of the show, who confided in me that he always listens to our podcast whilst he's in the bath. So I just want to say, Mike, if you're listening, don't forget the loofah. Remember to rinse. And if his wife is listening and is wondering why several male voices are coming from the bathroom, maybe she's come home early from work. He's in the bath. She hears voices. Don't be alarmed. It's just two weirdos. So that's all. That's all on that.
Is that you, Mike, or is that? Well, Mike, I admire your dedication to listen to us in the bath. I don't know how long are your baths? Jesus.
Oh, if you met him, you'd understand.
a lot of man to wipe down.
Very, very clean man. Very clean.
Very clean man. Loves a bath. But he must have to occasionally turn the hot tap on to
just to top it up again. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. That's fine. We'll do a 2.5 hour special just so you can get a deep cleanse going, a nice foamy, proper session.
Ooh, beautiful, beautiful,
lovely.
Okay, fantastic, lovely. Well, now we've got all the admin out of the way. Let's crack on. We're talking about Return of the Jedi. We're going into the desert, as so often we do on Tatooine.
Oh. Too many times.
And we are on the Master Sail Barge. We're heading to the Almighty Zarlak. Anything about that? What's your favourite bits about that, Steph?
Well, not Boba Fett dying, obviously, or not dying.
Doesn't fucking die, Steph.
All right, okay. I'm not getting into that argument again. All right, in headcanon dying. Well, okay, it's not the dying, it's the fact he just goes out like a right punk ass bitch, doesn't he? It's like, like you said, he's like the blueprint for the whole of the clone army, and a blind man smacks him on the back and off he goes, loses all control, flailing his arms around, and it's so not that bit. That's not my favorite bit.
No,
but,
no.
I do enjoy. Go on.
Yeah, sorry. No, you carry on.
I just enjoy Luke's lack of fighting style. He's just absolutely hacking and slashing away like an absolute nutter, like no refinement or skill whatsoever.
I can't remember if you mentioned this before, but he's very much. He looks like he's fighting like a punch-drunk boxer. And that was what we said about. That was what we were saying about the Bespin fight. But even still, like when he's on the deck of the sail barge and he's swinging his lightsaber around, it looks like someone he looks like he's swinging a sledgehammer. It looks like it's too heavy for him. Or actually, I suppose Mando swinging the darksaber when he's first starting to learn to use the darksaber is quite a similar comparison, I would say.
Well, it is, yeah. Well, that's interesting because I did hear somewhere, might even have been Nick who told me this. Back me up, Nick, if this came from you. But it's Lucas's original idea was a lightsaber was like a broadsword. It was a heavy, weighty weapon, and that's why they're so clumsy with it in the original trilogy. And they totally undid that in the prequels, where it's all spinny, flashy, kung fu fighting. But yeah, apparently that original idea was, it's like a two-handed, big old weapon that is clumsy, and you do have to take these big old swings with it. So maybe that's why it's a bit like that. But it doesn't look like the Jedi's.
He refers to it as elegant, though, doesn't he? I think Obi-Wan refers to it as an elegant weapon in the more civilized age.
Am I not elegant?
On to our next subject, anyway. You are the most elegant man I've ever seen in my life.
So elegant, beautiful. To see me move.
Crossed, by the way. I've seen you move. I've seen you prance across a dance floor like a gazelle.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's a sight to behold.
Prancing is the
indeed. It's the operative term
to describe you. Absolutely.
But speaking of that lightsaber, do you know why he's switched to a green lightsaber, not a blue lightsaber? That he was, he built his new lightsaber. Why it's green instead of blue?
No, the short answer is I don't know for certain, but based upon the time at which you're asking this question, I think I can guess.
Go on then.
There's a very clear blue sky on Tatooine.
It's lucky guess.
Not lucky. That was educated guess. I think you'll find.
Yeah.
But if anyone ever asks, of course I knew that. Of course I knew. What do you? Don't
no,
I do my research.
I should give you more credit. I know you.
No,
with all
that was a
guess.
That was a guess.
In the last few months.
A guess.
Okay, well you
an
get
an educated guess, but a guess nonetheless.
So the blue obviously wouldn't show up properly on screen against the blue sky, so switched it to green. Simples, but the green lightsaber's fucking cool though. Oh, it looks so good. It fires it
and
up.
It's really iconic as well, isn't it? It's like if you look at if you see a green lightsaber, I know it obviously helps when Luke's dressed all in black most of the time as well, which is again quite cool.
Very cool.
But that green lightsaber on a poster and on the covers of the DVDs and videos and stuff, it does look bloody cool.
Yeah, for some reason it hits more than the blue one, doesn't it? It just in terms of visual impact.
I think
it
so.
Makes me think so. Oh, Return of the Jedi lightsaber, boom, ready to
mature. I think it's kind of that mature. It indicates a bit more maturity. I don't know why. I have no idea why it should do that. But
why not?
It just shows a change. It shows a change.
Oh yeah, yes, it's a visual manifestation of his journey somehow.
I think we're looking into this far too deeply. Literally,
it just looks really good.
A visual manifestation of his journey. Yes.
That sounded good. Come on.
In reality, it was George Lucas picking up the phone to someone going, "Hey guys, we've got a lot of blue sky. Can we still use the blue lightsaber?" And the FX guys go, "No, we fucking can't.
No,
not going to see it, are you?"
Rick.
It's like, okay, we'll have a green one instead. We haven't sold any of those yet. So
that's the other thing, isn't it? Bring out a new range of
blue
toys.
One. We've sold loads of those in the first two movies.
That's it.
Switch to a green one. We'll have to buy another one, wouldn't they? Which was a point about Ewoks that we'll get onto later. We'll get to Endor and talk about that and the cynicism towards Return of the Jedi and why it's not the second best Star Wars movie. But hey ho.
You what?
Anyway, a couple of other points about Sail Barge, which again I've got my copious notes of things that I found.
Go on then.
All in one location 20 minutes ago. So actually this is something I picked up on during a watch, right? It's that the attitude towards slime within the Star Wars movies. I think it's unfair. I think there's a lot of the perception of slime and the idea that it's somehow wrong, dirty, bad. I don't understand. You get slimy mud holes in Empire.
Yeah.
And then very early on, when they're on the sail barge and they're having any last words, and what is it he says? That slimy piece of
stunted piece of slime. A slimy
piece of worm-ridden filth, I think is what it says.
Yeah, that's it.
I haven't got that written down in front of me, by the way. I've just,
You're just really good at quoting the movies. Yeah,
I bring nothing else to this venture.
Oh,
you bring the knowledge. I bring the quotes. What's wrong? Why is slime always used as some sort of negative? It's like you said about lizards. Lizards are always used as in a negative, like a pejorative term.
You got shares in slime companies or something? You're trying to change the perception. What's your skin in the game on this one?
Oh, your slime-ridden needs. I don't know.
Are we sponsored by a slime company now? Not a bad idea.
Slimy filth corporation. No, no, we're not. It was just an observation. Anyway, but slime. I feel like it's more that I was basically like, come on, we've used the slime gag a couple of times. We've had a go at slime already. Come up with something else. Come on.
There's a lot of that repetition of speech in Star Wars. There's a lot of that. Slime's probably the worst, the least offender.
Yeah, but there are in a lot of. I was about to use the F word then for describing a series of films, like as in F franchise, not fuck.
All right. I was going to say, we say fuck all the time.
I know. It's like, why has he decided now to stop swearing? No,
Yeah.
franchise. I
The
really
slime
don't
people
like
don't like it when we swear.
They might pull their funding.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. We'll bleep it out. Don't
that.
worry. The kids will never hear it.
Bye,
No,
slime.
I just I don't like using the word franchise. I just it's like,
Okay.
Anyway, that's my little bugbear. I don't know why.
Fair.
It's a business. It means nothing. Do you know about Anthony Daniels' panic attack during those scenes?
Oh yeah. Is this when he's getting his eye clawed out by the little monkey
apparently
thing?
none of it was Salacious Crumb.
Salacious Crumb, that's it.
God, where have I plucked that from? How did I know that?
That was good. Actually, it was pretty cool in The Mandalorian when we saw a whole tree full of them. I like that.
Think that's weird though. Because I always felt like in Jedi that he was kind of, as much as I guess he's there as Jabba's pet.
Yeah,
I almost felt like in Jedi he's like part of the crew. Like he's
I mean, he's got a name. He's got You wouldn't give your pet a first name and a surname, would you? Not normally.
Well, no, exactly. That's my point. Like,
if it's a generic,
mine's called Mike Smith, but it's but he's
and the testes,
but when we go to the Mandalorian and all the rest of his species all living in trees.
Yeah, it is a bit weird.
Right.
Like it got downgraded from sentient, member of the crew to tree dwelling rat monkey. I used to do. I'm gutted I can't do his laugh anymore. I used to do the best Salacious Crumb laugh, and I think as the years have gone and my timbre has lowered, I no longer have the ability. Week. I'm going to practice it all week. I'm going to do a brilliant, perfect Salacious Crumb impression next week.
Don't do it. Don't ruin it by doing it now. Right?
No, I won't.
Anyway. Yeah, so apparently the Anthony Daniels in that scene where he's getting his eyes pulled out by Salacious Crumb, which obviously everyone knows he's called Salacious Crumb. So apparently all the audio in that, none of it is from the day, because the only audio they got from the day is Anthony Daniels having a panic attack, saying something along the lines of "Get him off me! Get him off me! Get him off me! Help! Help! Help!" or something like that. Which, to be fair, is
fairly close to the real
3PO might say.
Yeah, it's not far off, is it?
No, not at all. Not at all. So apparently, they had to do post production and re-record all the audio, but I don't know. And so apparently he was. I think he was so exasperated he couldn't actually get up himself. He needed help up, and just like,
oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh, he's had a terrible time.
Oh, but to be fair, he's in the desert in a bloody metal outfit.
With a rat monkey pulling his eye out. I mean, he's on a set somewhere, but yeah.
No, they're in the desert. They had all the props. I don't.
The interior of the sail barge? Why would they build that in the desert?
Good point. Yeah, maybe they're just in the exterior shots. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense anymore, I'm afraid.
I mean, I assumed all of his audio would have been recorded in post-production. I just thought maybe they'd do a guide track live, but I presume, because otherwise it'd be all muffled and
yeah. It's weird how he's Bane as like my example for every piece of muffled chat.
It's all comes back to Bane for you, doesn't it? Bane and Kane are your two reference points.
Kane. So I don't know.
I'll tell you the other thing that stands out to me we'll just talk about the bloody Sarlacc pit monster. I don't know if we talked about how the toothy vagina monster has gained a clitoris.
In the specials.
Yes.
No.
That's not good, is it?
No, it's not good. And it's weird.
Surely that whole thing is its mouth. You know?
Yeah, it's kind of the thing. It was unnecessary, and like it was another thing where I think we spoke about it previously, didn't we? Where the lighting's a bit off, and it doesn't look right. I don't know. I know it's like 25 years ago, special effects, but did you see obviously the Book of Boba Fett, where they've got that scene where they're hovering over the pit?
Yeah,
and that whole thing's a bit odd.
Yeah,
well, there's lots of things in Book of Boba Fett that I think are a bit odd, but that was I don't know. Yeah, that was strange when it comes rearing up at them.
So, no, I don't get it, because if the beak is its mouth, what's the rest of it? What's that chamber of teeth?
Wow,
the tunnel.
Well, we get a little bit of a clue to that, don't we? Where it says it's the pit of Carcoon, and it's the resting place of the Almighty Sarlacc. So maybe the pit's just the. But then it burps in the first one.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, actively burps.
I can't burp. So, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows these things?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's still better than the bloody song they did in the palace, but we're over that now. I'm not going back to the palace now. I can't do it. I can't do it.
No, we'll move past that, and we'll move. You got anything else to say on the desert? Should we move past that as well?
Well, just the impracticality of building a massive gun that allows you enough range of motion to swing it around and point it at itself. You know, and that's not the only time they do that in Star Wars either, is it?
When else? Tell me.
I don't know. I said that, and I instantly thought, "What is the other example?"
I can think of another example in another Harrison Ford film.
It's not. That's it. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, you're thinking of Indiana Jones.
Yeah, on the plane
with Sean Connery when they're in the biplane.
Yes.
Indy's flying. And
he shoots
his dad spins round. He's like, "I got him!" And then he's like, "Oh no, sorry, son, they shot us." Like, he shot his own tail fin.
That's what I was thinking of. Another Lucasfilm production. So yeah,
with his mate Steve.
Yeah, but I always thought that was a bit silly. Point it at the deck. Let's spin it around and make it blow itself up.
I don't know. Bloody space movies and a silliness.
Stupid. We did talk about. I've already said about when he gets shot in the hand. You can see his gubbins, and I thought he was a robot.
Yeah, you mentioned that in. I think it was like our very first
way back. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
because you were saying you hadn't seen Empire.
You didn't
have any context, and all you saw.
So I was like, "Holy shit!
Why does no one care that he's an android?"
This is a major twist. Major twist. Why are we not making more of this? But but that's pretty cool.
Illusions of youth.
Cool. I know.
Very cool.
And clearly, he's not totally force tuned in because he doesn't block that shot. He takes it in the wrist.
Yeah,
that was his upper hand. Do you think it would have knocked his hand off? Because it's quite an impact.
Yeah, possibly. Actually, yeah. I mean, it's a good point, but it's weird. I mean, things like that are just when you say he's not deflected the blow or hit away. But again, I think we touched upon this in a earlier thing, or I think it might be last week we were talking about Harrison Ford maybe in his. And that comment about it's not that kind of movie, kid. When he's talking to when Mark Hamill's mentioning something about continuity error, I do think there's when they were making those films, it's kind of in the 70s and early 80s. It's more convenient just to be able to like, well, we don't need to worry about that for right now because the worst thing that happens is some movie critic is going to write something in a thing that very few people are ever going to read. Whereas if if they're making those films today, they would be far more. The fucking twats on that podcast again have picked us up on. Shit.
Where's just all the dirty laundries on show now, like all the time, isn't it? Like pricks like us are just calling them out on every little thing that we don't like or that we think should have been done differently, or continuity errors. Oh
you
yeah,
know me.
I'm the
miserable one. I'm the easy one to to entertain.
Easily pleased, this guy.
Oh, so easily pleased. Don't tell my wife.
Oh.
Don't tell my wife. Okay, right. Are we done in the desert, or have you got anything else? Are there any other weird bits that really bothered you? You think, what the hell have they done that for?
Just, I mean, yeah, just briefly, because I think we talked about it. I mean, I can't even remember anymore. It's so long ago. But just the ridiculousness of the plan to have R2D2 there just at the right time to fire the lightsaber and all that nonsense. It just feels like plot.
It is plot. Yeah, it is. It's very convenient.
That is it.
Well, he's upgraded. I think we spoke about it in the Palace bit where he's upgraded his.
He's upgraded
holo
projector.
3D. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah,
that's fair. I can buy that. I still don't get why he didn't just carry his lightsaber in with him in the first place.
Because
why hide it in R2?
Again.
Why?
For the sake of plot. For the sake of
plots.
And also as well, I like to think that he's not going to. If he'd have walked into Jabba's palace and tried to start carving his way through people, he probably wouldn't have lasted very long. Someone's going to get.
He does a chancy grab for a blaster off someone, and so what's the plan? Just
fair.
What's he doing? Anyway, there's no strategy.
I think that's well trodden ground. I think we've gone.
Yeah, I know.
We've gone as far as we need to go with that.
But I'll never ever get over it. But let's move on.
Right. Good opportunity to take a little break. When we come back, we will start looking at whatever happens next in the film, which off the top of my head, I cannot remember. I think it's something to do with teddy bears. So we will get to that.
Is it the Care Bear movie?
I don't know.
We're doing next.
I don't know. No, in all seriousness, I think next up, we're going to talk about the briefing room and then move on to Endor
Dagobah
and the Death Star. And Dagobah, yeah. So basically, we're going to get to a bit of Dagobah, bits of briefing room, and we'll come back with that. The teddy bears can wait for later. Right. See you in a mo.